then at the end of the day taking off the bra and being like, where did my boobs go? Which kind of sounds bad, but it's the truth. My mum was married at my age, tried and failed twice. Wow, he's doing really good. I'm kind of getting like Cruella de Vil vibes from my hair today. I think it now looks a little bit strange just with my like blonde stripe in the middle, but whatever. Hey guys, I hope you're good. Welcome back to my channel. So I put up this post on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago asking you guys for questions for another kind of like girl talk Q&A. I put girl in quotation marks because obviously this stuff can apply to everyone. It's just like a, you know, the stereotypical girl stuff. For the title of the video, you know what I mean. But of course, everyone is welcome here. So I've screenshotted all of the questions on my phone here that I'm gonna answer today. And it's probably gonna be quite a long one. So maybe go grab a hot drink, get comfy. I'm just in my hoodie and some joggers. To be fair, when am I not in a hoodie and joggers? You know what? I'm gonna go make myself a hot drink. If you wanna do the same, pause this video, go make yourself hot chocolate, cup of tea, whatever you wanna do. 2 seconds. Oh my God, this is literally like ASMR, listen. You know, I am the most un-British person ever. I don't actually like tea. I just love a hot chocolate, but anyway. I'm just gonna put this down. By the way, all of these questions I'm answering from my personal experience and my perspective. I'm not saying that everything that I say is like factual and true and you have to follow it. It's just my personal opinion. So the first question is, do you believe that you can find love with your first relationship, or do you think you should not remain with one person forever? So for this one, I think it entirely depends on the situation. I know some people that have been together since school and are still together now, and they will go on to get married and have babies and live happily ever after. So it definitely can work. But then I also know a lot of couples, I was one of them, that was in a relationship from a really young age, like a teenager, and at the time you kind of think, oh my gosh, this is gonna be forever. Quite a few of my friends as well, they went off to uni while being in a relationship, the same relationship they had from school. And then a couple years into uni, they did actually end breaking up, and obviously I ended up breaking up with my ex. But no, I think it definitely entirely depends on the person, on the couple. It definitely can happen. There are people that will just be with one person forever and they never kind of leave that relationship and they are perfectly happy. But I think also sometimes when you do get into a relationship, especially if you're quite young when you get into that relationship, as you grow older, you naturally kind of change and grow as a person and change your interests and stuff. Some couples will naturally end up growing apart, and that is totally fine. And then you will go off to have like multiple relationships before you find the one. But no, for sure, that definitely can happen. You can just remain with one person and be perfectly happy. I guess the one benefit of having a few different relationships before you end up settling down is that way you kind of really know what you want from a relationship and what you don't want, because you might have experienced things in previous relationships where you thought that that was how a relationship is supposed to be and you thought that everything was perfect, and then when you get out of that relationship you kind of look back and are like, oh, that wasn't quite, like, I wasn't fully happy, I just didn't realize it at the time. But it's totally up to you. If you are truly happy in your relationship and you want to stay with that person forever, then of course, you do you. So I also had a few kind of skin related questions. When did you start to get pimples and acne and what did you do about it? So unsure about blemishes on my chest, any remedies how to prevent or help? How do you have clear skin when you wear makeup daily? So I'm actually partnering with The Body Shop on this video to talk about their tea tree range, which if you guys have followed me for a few years, I've spoken about the Body Shop tea tree range, I think for about 4 years. We're scrolling back through some of my videos earlier and there were videos from back in 2016, 2017 where I'm talking about the tea tree skincare range. This could not be more fitting. They're probably some of my favourite products of all time from The Body Shop. So I have my bag of products here. They have a really nice range of stuff. I do obviously have my favourites from the collection, but the whole collection in general is targeted towards like blemish prone, oily skin. My skin definitely has got better over the years, but it's by no means perfect. So to answer the first question, for me personally, I think my skin started getting like oilier and I started getting blackheads and like blemishes and stuff around the age of 11 or 12, which I think was definitely puberty related, which is entirely normal. I know that so many people have the same experience. And then my skin kind of fluctuated and was like better at times, worse at times, between the ages of like 12, well, and now. I would say that now, maybe over the past kind of 2 years, my skin has definitely got better, but it's still, as we know, it's still on the oily side. And I still use all of these products. Another problem though, I think when I was like 12, 13 is when I started wearing makeup and I just was not cleaning my skin properly. I would just take my makeup off with a makeup wipe and that was pretty much it, which I know sounds really gross. But yeah, I just don't think I was looking after my skin properly. I wasn't actually like properly cleaning off all my makeup, which made it worse. So something that I definitely found helped with the appearance of my skin, which kind of goes without saying, is actually cleaning my face properly and having a bit more of a skincare routine. If you actually go back on my channel and look at my skin from when I was around like 18, 19, my skin's definitely improved since then, and I really did notice a big difference when I started using these products with the appearance of my skin. So I'm going to show you a bit of my sort of nighttime skincare routine and how I use these products and just like show you how they work and stuff. So these are my favourites that I've kind of chosen from the collection. The first one is the 3-in-1 Wash, Scrub and Mask, which I think was the first product that I actually ever tried from the range. So this does, as it says on the tube, you can use it as a face wash, you can also use it as a scrub because it does have like little scrubby bits in it, no micro beads though. You can also put this on your face, leave it to dry for like 5 minutes, use it as a mask, then wash it off. I don't use this every day, but on days where I am feeling like my skin just needs a proper good like deep clean, you know, I will use this. So I just wet my face, take a little bit in my hands, kind of really massage it in and then wash it off. And then on days where I feel like I don't need as an intense of a scrub or just in the mornings, I will use the Skin Clearing Foaming Cleanser, which again, the name kind of tells it all. It's another really nice face wash, and again, it's perfect for oily skin because it leaves your skin feeling super clean and sort of matte. And then one of the products that is one of my ride or dies, which I've repurchased so many times, is the Tea Tree Toner. Well, it's actually called the Skin Clearing Mattifying Toner. After I've washed my face, get a bit of this on a cotton pad, just wipe it all over my face. This just makes my skin feel amazing, and I think this really helps to kind of reduce the blemishes and reduce the oiliness. I just love it. I cannot praise this enough. I've even got my friends onto this because I just think it's such a good toner. Then another couple of products are the Anti-Imperfection Daily Solution. Again, I've used this for years and I think that this is great. I know that some people might get a bit scared because it comes with a dropper and it looks like oil. It is not a oil, it's not going to make your skin oily. It actually kind of does the opposite and makes it more matte. And it's so thin and lightweight, I find that this works really nicely under makeup as well. I actually used to use this like a primer. Then on evenings where I feel like my skin is particularly having a hard time, I will use the night lotion, which again, just put all over my face. Avoid putting around my eyes. You don't want to get this around your eyes because they're super sensitive. And then another one of my absolute ride or dies from this collection, I've spoken about this so many times, the tea tree oil. That's it, just the tea tree oil. It's 15% tea tree oil, so it's not as strong as like literally putting 100% tea tree oil on your face, which is probably too harsh. I just put a little bit of this on a cotton bud, put it on any blemishes. I've had like a few round here over the past few days. I didn't pick them. I've literally just been putting this on every evening and I really found that it's helped them go down. Because these products have worked so well for me and my skin, I can fully stand behind them and say that I think that they're really great. So if you do have oily or blemish prone skin or blackheads or anything, then this range is definitely worth checking out. I will leave links down below. And then to answer the question saying, so unsure about blemishes on my chest, any remedies to prevent or help? They also have the tea tree body wash, which I actually discovered when I was back at school, when I was going to my prom, because I used to get and still do get blemishes on my shoulders and my chest, which you would never really know from watching my YouTube videos, but it's a very normal thing. So you can put this on your shoulders and your chest. I like to use some exfoliating gloves or something, put a little bit of this on and then just like rub it over my shoulders and chest. So I definitely recommend giving that one a go. And just to note as well, the whole tea tree range is 100% cruelty free. All the tea tree ingredients are sustainably sourced. So if any of you are interested, I will leave the links down below. The next question says, how do you have self-love towards smaller boobs? This is something that I've definitely struggled with throughout growing up. We all know on my channel that I was not blessed in the breast department. I've definitely learned to get more comfortable with it over the years, but that is not to say that I don't have my days where I do feel insecure about it. I think everyone feels insecure about different parts of their bodies in some way, which again is totally normal. Something that I think definitely helped me become more comfortable with my boobs is to stop wearing such padded bras. Throughout lockdown, I've even just not been wearing a bra, or I've been wearing like a super kind of light bralette, because that way I kind of see myself more with how my boobs actually are, which makes me more comfortable with it, rather than wearing a super padded bra, then at the end of the day taking off the bra and being like, where did my boobs go? Yeah, just going for the no bra approach or something a lot more kind of lightweight has made me realize like, this is my body, this is what I've been given, and I don't know, just getting more used to it I guess has definitely helped. Another thing that massively helped me is the type of people that I follow on social media. I used to follow so many Instagram models and people that had completely unattainable body types for me. Like there was no way, like even if I exercised, if I did a whole bunch of stuff, there was no way for me to have that body type. So I unfollowed the people that were making me feel insecure about my body and my boobs, and I started following people that had similar body types to me. So I purposely went through my Instagram and found some people that also have smaller boobs and embrace their small boobs, and that made me feel more comfortable with my body, because what was on my feed was, you know, the body type that I had, which definitely made me feel a lot better. But I feel you, and there have definitely been times where I've massively considered getting a boob job, but I've just decided it's not worth it. Like, I don't want to have some foreign objects in my body and then have to replace them every 10, 15, 20 years. Like, I don't think I'm down with that. The next question says, do you think it's important for a girl to raise her bikini zone? I also had another question saying, how do you get rid of razor burn or razor bumps when shaving? No, I don't think it's important for a girl to raise her bikini zone. If you don't want to, that is totally fine. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to. I know that it's the society norm, but honestly, you do you. If you're comfortable having hair there, leave it. If you're not comfortable having hair there, shave it. It's totally down to personal preference, and don't let a partner tell you what to do with it, because if they're going to be controlling over that, then, well, it's not their body, is it? It's your body. Do what you're comfortable with. That's all I would suggest. And then how do you get rid of razor burn or razor bumps when shaving? I would highly recommend exfoliating before and after you shave. If you don't exfoliate before, you're not going to be getting down like right to the root of your hair. Everyone has a layer of dead skin, and if you don't exfoliate that away, you're kind of shaving, but the dead skin is covering like a tiny little bit, and then exfoliate afterwards just in case there is any sort of dead skin left. And then obviously for the days after, I would recommend exfoliating, because then if you start to get that layer of dead skin kind of forming again and the hair's trying to grow up through it, it might kind of like get stuck sort of thing. I don't know if I'm describing this very well. Don't go super harsh though, like be gentle with your skin, but also it definitely helps to exfoliate. Oh, and in terms of razor burn, use some kind of shaving foam, cream, whatever. Like, don't just use water to shave, because then the razor is like dragging along your skin. You need something kind of slippery to help it glide easily, but I think that's kind of a given anyway. Next question says, do you use tampons or pads, and which is best? I personally use both. I didn't use tampons for years just because I tried it once when I was in my teens. I couldn't do it properly, made me feel really queasy, and I had to go lie down, and then I was too scared to attempt it after that. So whenever I went on holiday or had somewhere to go swimming and I was on my period, I would just sit out because I was like, nope, I can't use tampons. But now I've realized that I was actually just not putting it in right. Like, it takes a bit of practice, but I promise you, you will get there. If you just, maybe every time you get your period, try using a tampon. If it doesn't work the first time, totally fine. You've got many more periods to try it out. And when this person says which is best, there isn't really a best. It's kind of just what you're comfortable with. I now use a combination of both. On some days I will wear pads, on some days I'll wear tampons. It just kind of depends. Don't know. There's pros and cons to both of them. The next question says how to not compare yourself to others. I think this really relates back to the question that I spoke about small boobs. If you are using social media platforms, unfollow all of the people that make you feel like crap. Recently, I have followed a bunch of positive accounts, like positivity quotes and stuff like that, and loads of girls that celebrate body positivity, body types that are similar to mine, and I unfollowed or just muted all of the people that would appear on my feed that made me feel bad about myself. So there is no harm in doing that. Do what is best for your mental health, but I found that that massively helped me with comparing myself to others. Period cramp solutions. So I used to get really horrendously bad period cramps to the point where I would have to take a day off school and it would make me sick. I would be throwing up. I would be screaming in pain. Like, it was the worst pain that I've ever experienced. The main thing that I can recommend to you to do is, if you are having really bad period cramps, please go and speak to your doctor about it. Having period cramps is definitely normal, but having excruciating period pains to the point where it's making you do all those things that I mentioned, that is not so normal, and I would highly recommend going to a doctor's and speaking to them about your different options, because obviously I'm not a doctor, I can't diagnose stuff. Still to this day, I think I might potentially have endometriosis, but I never had the surgery to kind of confirm that. So just a brief story of what helped me. Well, first of all, things that help me, like natural things that help me. Having a hot water bottle, I think that one is quite classic. That definitely helped. Also as well, there's certain stretches that you can do. Have a Google of like period cramp stretches. I found that some of those would help me, but I did go to the doctor multiple times. They did give me some methonemic acid, I think it's called, which was like a kind of stronger painkiller, but even for me, like that still didn't fully help. And so eventually they recommended that I would go on the pill, which I was on the combined pill for 7 years. Then the doctors realised that due to my mum having a potential blood clot when she was my age because of the pill, they said that I shouldn't have been on the combined pill in the first place. So I had to try a few different ones. I'm now on a mini pill which is called Noriday, and to be honest, my period pains have definitely come back. And they're worse than they have been for the past like 7-8 years. However, it's not to the point that they used to be. So for the moment, that's kind of sort of working for me, but I would definitely recommend to go to your doctor and discuss the options, because I know that not for everyone going on the pill will help period cramps. It helps for some people, helps for others, so I just recommend speaking to your doctor. Would you tell your best friend if you've heard people talking behind her back, or keep it to yourself? If it's somebody you don't know, say you're out and about in public and you hear somebody say something mean about one of your friends, I don't think they need to know that, because that might just make them upset, and if they don't even know the person and they're not going to see them again, then maybe don't draw their attention to it. However, it's definitely very different if it's another friend talking about one of your friends behind their back. In that situation, I don't think that person is their friend. I think I would tell them, or I would speak to the people that were talking and be like, look, like, what are you doing? But yeah, I think I probably would tell them, because, you know, they need to know that that person isn't a genuine friend. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. My boyfriend is going to uni far away in September. I'm super scared about long distance. Help. I can see why you're scared. I think, yeah, long distance can definitely be difficult for a lot of people. But just know that there are people that get through it. Like I mentioned earlier, there are people I know that have been in a relationship since school and they survived all the way throughout uni, still together now, still very happy, and they made it work. But I think it just kind of depends on the relationship, really. If it's going to work out, you will make it work. And if it's not going to work out, then maybe life had a different path for you. That sounds so deep. FaceTiming obviously helps, Skyping, Zooming, whatever sort of technology thing you want to do. All I would say is that if it's going to work out, it will work out, and you guys will find a way around it, and you will come out the other side, I'm sure, much stronger, and it will be worth it in the end. The next question is, how long did you wait to start dating again after your previous breakup? Again, it's another one of them situations where it's kind of different for everyone, and it's down to like how you're personally thinking about it. I actually waited 4 months between the end of my previous relationship and when I started dating again, which I know for a lot of people is probably quite soon, but just me personally, I felt ready to start doing that. I think because, I know this sounds kind of harsh, but I know that my ex probably would have said the same. The relationship was kind of over before we actually ended it, if that makes sense. So in my head, I feel like I was more readily prepared for it, which kind of sounds bad, but it's the truth. You know, there's no set amount of time. I know some people that end a relationship and they're dating after a few weeks. But then also I know that some people will wait a year and still not be over it, or 2 years and still not be over it, which again is totally fine. It's all just down to you and how you're feeling. How do you feel about being in a very serious relationship that early at your age? I don't think that being in a very serious relationship is super early at my age. I know that other people will think of this differently, but for me personally, I'm 23, and I know that everyone does life completely differently. My parents actually, like, my mum was married at my age, which I find crazy. My parents had known each other at uni for a couple of years. They only were together for 5 months before getting engaged, and then they got married, which I find crazy. And a couple of weeks ago, they celebrated their 34th wedding anniversary. So I think it works out differently for everyone. Don't let other people obviously tell you what you can and can't do. But yeah, so I think because of that and having my parents as an example, I find that 23 isn't that young, like, to be in a serious relationship. Also, a lot of my cousins and stuff, by the age of 24, they were having babies and getting married, and, you know, they're all still in a happy relationship. So, but then other people do not want to get into a serious relationship until in their like late 20s, 30s, which again is totally fine. I guess again, it's just another sort of personal preference thing and how you're feeling about your life and where you want to take it. None of my friends at my age are married, and obviously I'm not married, I'm not engaged, I'm not getting married anytime soon. But like my brother, for example, he's been with his girlfriend 2 years, they're living together. He's only 1.5 years older than me, and you know, I mean, yeah, it's different for everyone, I guess. Do stretch marks really matter? Are they much of a turn off to guys? From my personal experience, I don't think so. I don't think stretch marks matter at all. You would be surprised at the amount of people that have stretch marks. It's almost everyone. A lot of people don't choose to show them. I have stretch marks. I've got stretch marks on my inner thighs, on my outer thighs, and on my bum. But I have found that the guys that I've been with have not really been bothered or even really noticed them. So I don't think it's a problem with the majority of guys. And if it is a problem with a guy or a girl that you're seeing, then sounds like more of a them problem, not a you problem, and maybe you should not be with them, because if they're that judgmental, then do you really want to be with a person like that? So I wouldn't worry about stretch marks. Literally 99% of people have them, and they're so normal. How has your relationship changed now you live alone with James? It's something I'm scared of. I think our relationship's actually got better. We've definitely got a lot closer since living together, because obviously we're together most of the time. But something that I do think is quite important is we still see our own friends. We don't do absolutely everything together. So sure, like there have been things that we have bickered about and stuff, but even like living with my family and stuff, I would end up bickering with them because I was living with them. We were spending so much time together. If I spend too much time with my friends, I end up bickering with them. I would say that it's changed our relationship, but I think in a better way. I think you find out when you're living with somebody whether something's gonna work out or not, and you kind of realize all aspects of their personality. Yeah, I don't think it's anything to be scared about. I think both of us were really excited to live together, and yeah, it's been really nice. But yeah, like I mentioned, he will still go out and do stuff with his friends. Without me being there, I will still go out and do stuff with my friends, obviously socially distant, but when things go back to normal and stuff, I would imagine that's how it will continue. Obviously there have been times where we've both gone to see both of our sets of friends with for a barbecue or something, but yeah, we still do stuff separately, which I think definitely helps and is important to kind of have your own time. Have you ever tried a menstrual cup? I just got my first one and the struggle is real. I feel you. Yes, I have tried a menstrual cup. Tried and failed twice, but with tampons I did not get it straight away, so I think I've just got to keep trying, keep experimenting with it, and I'm hoping that eventually I'll get there. But yes, a menstrual cup is definitely very different from putting in the tampon, and it is quite a struggle. I haven't quite nailed it yet, but I'm hoping that I will with more practice. So if anyone has any tips, please let me know. The next question says how to help keep the relationship going when it's almost one-sided. That is a tricky one, and I have had personal experience with this. Something I would say is to be honest with your partner about it. Talk about it and be like, look, this is how I'm feeling. I feel like, you know, maybe I'm putting in a bit more effort and it's upsetting me. I think the best thing to do in a relationship is talk about your feelings. Don't just hide it, because then how are they ever going to know that you're upset by it? If you speak to them about it and things get better, then that is amazing. If you speak to them about it and they'll say, oh yeah, I'll put in more effort, and then they don't put in more effort like months down the line. If you keep asking yourself this question, how do I make things better when it's so one-sided? I think it's not the right relationship for you. Like, being completely honest, just because I think you deserve someone that puts in just as much effort as you put into the relationship as well. Next question says, can a relationship survive after cheating? This one is very controversial. It's not personally something I've experienced, so I can't really say how I would react. I've always said that if somebody cheated on me, I don't think I would ever be able to take them back, because I don't think I'd ever be able to stop thinking about it. And I know people that have been cheated on, they've got back together and then it just hasn't worked out, because it's quite a difficult thing to get out of your head when you break somebody's trust. I don't think I would give somebody a second chance, but then I can say that now, having, you know, it not happen to me, but I know that when you're so in love with somebody, you want to give them a second chance. But if they do it again after that, then no, like no more than 2 chances. But everyone is completely different. I know that some people have been cheated on. The person has said, like, you know, that was a one-time mistake, they've got back together and they've been totally fine. So again, it's different for everyone, but yeah, that's quite a tricky one. I don't think I'd ever be able to get it out of my mind. The next question says, how awkward was bringing James home to your parents? It actually went really well. He was so good with my parents when he first met them, to the point where my parents were like, wow, like we weren't expecting that. He just walked straight in and was like, hi guys, nice to meet you, I'm James. He sat down with them in the lounge. I thought it was just gonna be a quick like, hi, nice to meet you, then leave. But yeah, he came in, he sat down, he was saying like, oh, how's your guys' day been? What have you been up to this week? So what do both of you do for work? Even though he already knew that because I told them, but he was asking them loads of questions about their life, and I was just sitting back like, wow, he's doing really good. It was awkward for the first like minute, and then I think it was fine. I was very lucky in that. They got on really well and still do, so yeah. And then the last question is, how do you know when you're ready for the next stage in a relationship? I think you just kind of know. I know that sounds so stupid and so probably cliche, but I think when you are ready for the next stage in a relationship, you would just start to feel more comfortable with that person when you realize that you were excited to see that person all the time, and maybe you were like thinking in your head like, oh, I could actually imagine us getting into a relationship and being boyfriend and girlfriend, or girlfriend and girlfriend, boyfriend and boyfriend, whatever. I think when it gets to that point where you're really excited and can see a future with them, that is when you're ready for the next stage in a relationship. I think it never should be forced, and it should never feel like it's forced. If you're not feeling comfortable with them yet and you're thinking, oh, I don't really want to progress things, then you're not ready for it. And don't let the other person kind of push you into that, because if you're not comfortable with things, then that's that. You are your own person, you can have your own thoughts. You shouldn't be kind of, you know, almost like peer pressured by them into doing anything that you don't want to do. This stands for anything like sexual, and also just the next stages of going from like dating to being in a relationship. I just think you kind of know, and when you get to a point where you're super comfortable with that person, then I think that is the right time to progress onto the next stages. I don't know if that was helpful. Hopefully it was. And I think that is the last question out of all of these. But I hope you guys found this helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want me to do any more of these videos, or if you have any more questions, or if there's anything else you want to know down in the comments. I'll try and get back to you. Like I mentioned, all of the Body Shop tea tree range I will leave linked down below. So if any of you are interested in any of that stuff, I would highly recommend it if you do have oily, blemish prone, blackhead type skin. Anyway, I hope you guys are good. I hope you're safe. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope you're well. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.